Oh, God.
Welcome, everybody, to Sharing Noodles with Friends.
Yes. Welcome.
Take 20. Go.
Take 20 of an intro.
Take 20.
Go.
No, seriously. Sometimes when I can't even explain it.
We got to get the giggle fits.
I know. When you get those, everything that you say just sounds. Every word sounds weird.
Yeah.
Like no matter what word you use, it sounds funny. Like you find yourself analyzing, just like in.
Try it.
What was that movie?
Say a
What was
word.
that movie?
Jeep.
Jeep.
Wheelbarrow.
Yeah, I mean, actually, most words when you really
Wheelbarrow.
wheel.
Wheelbarrow.
Wheel.
We have to move on before it deconstructs.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Oh, God.
Well, we'll go ahead and tell you our sponsors. We're
We are
sponsored,
sponsored by Vinyl Me Please.
Yes.
You can go and visit them at vinylmeplease.com, and they are the best damn record club out there. Derek,
why don't you tell me how much a subscription starts at?
Subscriptions start at $23.
Good, you got that right.
Thank you. Yeah,
I'm proud of you.
I didn't add anything extra to it. I just because $23.99 to me in my head sounds, like a price.
Yeah,
but it's just
it is a
$23.
price.
It is a price.
It totally is. You are right about
but
that.
Just $23. And what do they get with that other than an exclusive pressing of a fantastic record that should be in everyone's collection?
It also comes with a cocktail recipe that pairs nicely with the album, and it also comes with a 12x12 piece of art that's done for each album, and they're all really cool, and they would all be really nicely framed. That's my suggestion.
I
That's
agree.
my suggestion.
The one that came with Mad Villain is pretty nice, and I could see that in a...
The Perfume Genius one is super awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy.
Super cool.
It's crazy. These guys, they know what they're doing. They've got incredible music taste. So you can go into this, and I can honestly say everything that I've ever seen released through them is something that I either already have or would totally want in my collection.
Yeah.
And just don't think about it when I'm at the record store.
Yeah.
Like for me, that's kind of what I look to them to tell me, you should be listening to this. I know you've passed by this record 3 or 4 times and you've wanted to get it so many times.
You want fucking
Now
one
we're
of
going to give it to you, and you're going to have it. Or it's an old record like R.L. Burnside, or...
I'm going to give it to you, and you're going to have it.
You're going to get it.
and you're going to listen to it. But it's pretty fantastic. I would... If I weren't a member, I would join.
Yeah.
But you can, since the holiday seasons are coming up, you can gift a subscription.
You can. They have 3, 6, and 12-month subscriptions that you can buy as a gift for someone and give it to them for Christmas,
God,
and they'll
see?
get a record each month, and that's pretty cool.
And how happy would that make most record collectors?
Blake, I got you at for Christmas.
You ruined Christmas for me just now.
Santa's
not
dead.
real. Oh, man, you took it way darker. I was going to say, Santa's not real. Dead.
He's not real because he's
dead.
dead.
He's dead, and he is burning up.
He doesn't
right
exist
now.
because he died.
He died
Horrifically.
tragically. Santa Claus dead today at the senseless age of 864.
God. I don't even know what that is, but I hate it.
Decapitated.
We are also brought to you by Nothing Too Fancy, which you can find at nothingtoofancy.com. They are the exclusive store to purchase Sharing Needles with Friends merchandise.
Yep. You can get shirts, slip mats, and mugs from us there. You can also get tons of other really badass shirts and men's accessories like beard combs and beard
accessories,
oils.
Accessories.
Accessories.
So you can accessorize.
You can accessorize yourself.
You can accessorize yourself if you go there.
You can.
Makes
You can
sense to
also find them at Nothing Too Fancy Knoxville. That's their Instagram, and you can look at a bunch of the stuff they post on there as well.
That
and we
is
think
true.
you should.
We think you definitely should.
So, on this episode,
Well, wait, before we even get into the episode,
what?
I know, Blake.
Hey.
Yeah, dude, looking at you, buddy. You haven't been here in a little while.
I know.
I just
Gosh,
want to
I've been
know
busy.
WTF. What is your excuse for not being here? Because this is
IBBD.
I've been busy, dude.
Oh, okay, all right.
There knows somehow.
You don't
Yeah, that
even
was-
have to. We can just talk in
Gosh,
letters.
I've been trying to get
That was real
stuff
creepy.
recorded and mixed, and
Yeah, you've been a
sort
busy
of even
dude.
stressed out right now a little bit, almost probably because I've drank too much coffee.
But that can
But
sometimes.
it's been going good.
Yeah, you have been doing a lot.
Gosh, I feel so good to be in here right now. But it's funny because this is
Feel
an
good.
intro.
Yeah, it's
and
an
I'm
intro.
actually not even in this fucking episode.
Yeah, this episode was actually
I
pre-recorded.
am. I just don't.
yeah,
say
you
a
don't say
word.
anything because
Sat creepily in the background.
you
and
were
listened.
just in awe of Carmen from
Every
Young
single
Statues.
Exactly.
word. Actually, I have listened to him though, and I really like it a lot.
Yeah, dude,
So good.
The song that we play at the end just makes me want to like play it while I'm looking out the window on some road trip or something. Like, I guess I'm not driving. Obviously.
That song is.
I want
yeah,
someone else to
hopefully.
be driving.
Yeah.
Well, the windshield
wanna
is a
be-
window. I mean, you could count that. You could be looking out the windshield.
Yeah,
That would be the song "Natives," which is
I
off
would
their
rather
newest
just not be
record.
driving.
Yeah.
Just looking out the window, letting stuff go by. It just sounds.
You sound like
I love it.
in this thing in your mind that you're
Yeah.
creating. Are you a dog? I picture you as a dog with your head out of the window.
And if you are a dog, what kind of dog would you
I
be?
guess I am.
If you had to be a
I didn't
dog, what
realize
kind
it,
of
but-
dog
What kind
would
of
you choose?
dog?
What breed?
German Retriever.
Blake just made his own mix.
I would be German Retriever.
I'm a mutt, dude.
As you are,
been
sir.
around.
As you are. That's.
I'm a
I'm a
fucking
mutt. I love it when someone can admit I'm a mutt. That's it.
I'm a GD
That's
mutt, man.
pretty amazing. So yes, we get to talk to Carmen. We talked about their fantastic new record. We
Yes,
also
the
talk.
Flatlands are your friend.
They are your friend, and we do talk about it. And
do.
we also get to talk a lot about the writing process in general,
Yeah.
which is awesome. Beautiful colors in vinyl.
We
I
do talk
mean,
about that for a while.
For me, that's one of the biggest things, man. I don't want a colored record just for the sake of it being colored. I want to know that the band thought through their reasoning for making X amount in this color and X amount in this color.
Yeah.
You know, it's awesome to know. I mean, it's fine if someone orders some records and says, Seafoam Green. I love Seafoam Green, so cool.
me too.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. But when there's a story, you know, kind of behind the patterns and the colors, you know, that they decide to go with, I think that's super interesting.
You know what's more interesting? Hearing Carmen talk about it and not us right now.
Oh,
Ouch. Okay. Well, I guess we'll get to the interview. Dick. Thanks for listening.
You just got served.
I
but
mean,
you sort of just trashed yourself too.
that's
so.
true. You kind of just made yourself look like an
no,
asshole.
I know. I am an asshole.
Okay. Okay.
No,
as long
I
as-
am.
So while
I
you
am
are,
an asshole, G.
while you are all listening to this, please make sure to go and rate us on iTunes. You know, you can just pretend you're rating me, because I know that if you want to rate Derek, you would probably give it like a 2-star, and that
Yeah, it's
we
not
would feel
fair.
real bad
It's not
for
fair
us.
to Gene
It's
and
not fair
Blake.
to me and Blake, because we kind of carry the show and we make it a 5. You know, we make it worth your time.
We understand what
You
you
sort of
mean.
make it a 6, and I bring it down to
You're right. You
A
just
5.
kind of bring us down to even us out, because
Which
we're almost
works.
too awesome.
When you give
Yeah.
us 5
Yeah.
stars, we know what you mean.
We know what you're
we
saying.
know what you're saying, but you know, we always like to see some nice comments from people.
Yeah.
Or constructive criticisms, whatever. It helps us grow and makes us happy. I don't know. I think it makes the
Helps
show
us-
better
helps
for
us
everyone.
grow.
You know.
It helps
And
us
you
grow
know
and makes
where-
us happy.
You
You know
where it
helps
makes us grow.
You know what? Shut up. Okay,
You
we're
got it.
just gonna get into this interview.
In
This
my
is-
penis.
Oh,
God, I knew someone was gonna say it. We're just
Penis.
gonna get in.
Hi guys, it's Carmen. How you doing?
Doing good, man. How are
Really
you?
good.
Good. Is this all right with the headphones?
Yeah, dude, you're fine.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay. All right, great.
So how are things, man?
Things are good. How about with you guys?
Wow, pretty good. Pretty good.
Just living.
Just
Nice.
enjoying your newest record, man. It's pretty.
Oh, cool. Good. I'm glad you guys like it.
It's pretty
Oh,
incredible.
yeah. It's great, man. I really, really
Thank
love
you.
it.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, let's start out here and just give us a little bit of history on Young Statues. Just let us know, how it started and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, we started.
Every detail.
Every single, every deep, dark detail.
Okay. Oh, there are plenty. So,
Oh, okay.
I could no. But I had played. I've been a musician for as long as I can remember. My dad was a drummer, and I remember being 3 years old, and I used to drive by this little toy store that was in the town I grew up in on my way to school every day, and they had this little toy acoustic guitar in the window, and I remember being a kid and wanting. I guess I was maybe like 4 years old and in pre-K or something,
Yeah.
and wanting that guitar. So and my dad was a drummer, and I got that guitar. I've been playing guitar ever since. So I had been in bands and nothing ever really serious until high school. And my high school band was with a couple of my best friends, and we put out a couple of records, and we did our own like touring, which we had no idea what we were doing. But
Yeah, we've been there.
we got in a van and drove around, and it was a lot of fun. And we kind of had a falling out somewhere along the lines, and that band broke up. And actually, our drummer Dan, our drummer in Young Statues, it was the drummer of that band as well. And him and I went to kindergarten together, so we've known each other for a really long time. Yeah. And so after that band broke up, I was kind of a little bit bummed on music. I that was my high school band. That was my baby.
Yeah.
I loved it more than anything. And when it ended, I didn't think I would ever be in another band again.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would, in your own small little world, it's like the world's ending.
Dude, it's like that first love, and then
Yeah.
when you lose it, you're like, you know what? I will never love again.
I mean, it's like
I'll
a
never find it.
relationship breakup.
is.
It just
it absolutely
sucks your
is. It was
soul out for a while.
Exactly. Oh yeah, yeah, and it was exactly like that. And I had a buddy that I went to high school with and that I grew up with, and it was around the holidays, and I remember he moved to Florida, and I can't remember exactly why, but he ended up committing suicide.
Oh God!
And it was it was just a really horrible, sad thing.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I picked up my guitar and just was fumbling around on it one day, and I ended up writing this song that was kind of about that situation.
Yeah.
And every year we have a group of friends that have a collective in New Jersey, and they had a friend who died of cancer. So every year they do a Christmas album and a benefit show for him, where
awesome.
everybody records either one original or cover Christmas song, and then they do this big show and they make copies of it and they sell it. And they've been doing it for a while. It's really amazing. His
Man, that's
family
such a
comes
cool
and
thing.
That really is.
Yeah. So they, I sent the song to those guys, and they invited me to, formally record it and put it on that compilation.
Yeah.
So after I did that, I recorded with a friend of mine named Steve, who owns a studio here and is part of that collective. And when we did that song, it was just me and him, and it was a really good atmosphere. It was really, really fun. I enjoyed doing it, and I felt like a spark that I hadn't in a while, and it just felt good to get back to the basics of writing and recording music. So him and I, after that, decided, let's do this again, just work on a couple songs, for the hell of it. So we were doing that, and it was going well, and we had a couple of songs that we would work on 4 hours at a time in the studio. I would bring stuff, and we didn't give ourselves a deadline or put pressure on ourselves. We just did it when we had the time, and then simultaneously, I have a buddy from Florida who lives in Chicago now, but at the time he was working on a record of his own, and I was working on my songs, and we decided that it would be cool to do a vacation type thing and meet halfway at a studio.
Yeah.
And we would just meet halfway at a studio and stay in the studio and work on our songs and hang out and catch up. And we went to see a couple of shows, and that studio happened to be Chase Park Transduction in Athens, Georgia.
Awesome.
So we went down there. Yeah, so I worked on some of the songs for the first Young Statues record there, and came back and finished them with Steve, and then we put that first full length record out, and then just started touring, and the band formed like really organically as far as the members of the band. Once the record was finished, Dan had played drums on it because I did MIDI drums and kind of just programmed the drums myself, and then we needed
to kind of sketch out the idea of a song, basically. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, so he came in and drummed on the songs. My friend Tom played bass, and then Steve had performed on all the songs. So when it came time to start playing live, that just became the band. The people who played on the record were just like, all right, well, we'll play live too. So that's how the band was formed and got, got started and got going.
That's awesome, man. That's
Yeah.
It's really inspiring to me how often, and this is kind of taking it back to the beginning, how often something such as a tragedy in your life can kind of really spark you to do something. Like I've been extremely uncreative personally lately, and just lost a friend about 3 days ago. And
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry.
I appreciate it. It hits this chord though, like where, so to speak, like literally, to where you just feel like you have to get this out. And us as musicians, like this is the way that we deal with things, and the way that we're easier able to express ourselves. And I find it's kind of a beautiful thing that, that's kind of just where you take it. And this unfortunate tragedy brought, upon so many really amazing things that it's just one of those, it's hard to take in sometimes, that kind of like power something can have. Like, it's like,
I mean, my cousin is a theater actor, and we always talk all the time, and we're always sending, he just last night emailed me a book that is, I can't remember exactly what it's called. I haven't even read it yet, but he was explaining it to me. It's just, they're just books that kind of help spark the creative process and help you understand the creative process more. And talking to him about acting and how because that's intriguing to me, how when you see a good actor, the difference between a good actor and a bad actor is so extreme.
Exactly. It's a vast difference.
Yeah. And you wonder how these people channel that. And the way he described it to me was, a lot of them a lot of it is not acting. It's going to those places in your mind where in your own life and being able to project that out. And you're not, and in that case, you're not actually acting at all. You're just reacting to. So I relate that to music sometimes. And like what you said, I mean, when you have a real actual tragedy or a real actual situation occur, it sparks something different in you, rather than if I just sat here and said, I want to write a song about this and tried to go to that place. It's a lot harder to do that than it is to just, have a real, tangible, actual thing that you can reflect on that happened to you to base your writing off of.
It's very therapeutic as well. It's like you have an outlet to where you can take all of this, anger or sadness and just put it somewhere.
What you want to say.
And you can sort of like not release it entirely, but just sort of put it all in this one song, and then it's like, okay, well, I got all of this out and it's right here.
Yeah.
I can put it right there, and that's where it's going to stay.
And I can mold it differently if I need to, but you know what? There it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, there are songs, I'm sure it's this way with everyone, but, there are songs that remind me of certain times in my life, or there are songs that remind me of certain people, or songs that remind me of a certain feeling that I had. And it is therapeutic. It's almost, it has a not only like an emotional effect on you, but it can be a physical release when you truly are impacted by a song. So that's an awesome thing about music and songs.
I mean, Gene and I have had this conversation recently where like there's some albums that I can listen to, like if I'm feeling depressed or sad, I can listen to that album and it's also sad and depressing, but it makes you feel okay with being sad and depressed.
I completely agree. Yeah. And
it's like you can just accept it.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
And those are the records I like the most.
Me too. I can be super depressed and put on any Smiths record, and all of a sudden I feel one with Morrissey and his words, and I feel all okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you on that.
Well, when did you guys get going with Run for Cover, and how did that come about? Have you always released everything with Young Statues under Run for Cover?
Yeah, I mean, we record, like the way I was saying before, we recorded that entire record, the first Young Statues full length. We recorded it, finished it, mastered it, did the artwork, did everything before we ever sent it to anyone or sent it, or attempted to
really
get
do
a
anything,
record deal or whatever. Yeah, and Yeah, so once the record was finished, our manager emailed it to Jeff, who runs the label,
Yeah.
and I have friends of mine who play in a band called Hello Goodbye that I've known forever.
Oh, yeah.
And they were playing a show at Northeastern in Boston, like right around that time that Jeff heard the record, because he really liked it and he wanted to put it out. And so I went up there for that show with Hello Goodbye and got to meet him and hang out with him. And that was another situation where it was just like, I didn't know anything really about Run for Cover, and I started looking into them more when they expressed interest in doing the deal. And then when I went up and met Jeff, it was just like, all right,
Game on.
This is the side. Yeah. This is already like a perfect situation.
Yeah.
It just felt like he was already part of it in a weird way, even though he wasn't.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I'd known him a long time. So it was, and that's how it started. And then, so everything we've ever done has come out through them.
That's awesome.
Run for Cover seems
Yeah.
like such a cool
Yeah.
label. Like Run for Cover does, Top Shelf does, No Sleep does. It seems like there's like a handful of labels right now that I'm like, man, it would feel good to be a part of.
Exactly.
This record
And
label.
I'll buy anything off of these labels. When they put them out, if I've never heard a band, I will buy something knowing that the previous
That's
releases have
cool.
been awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
when you get that
I mean-
label loyalty kind of thing going on,
Yeah.
it's awesome. When you know that you can
And that's
trust them.
cool. It's definitely a good crew. I love everybody that works there, and everybody who's affiliated with the label and all the bands. You know, everybody kind of comes bands together, and for lack of a better word, bands together. But, you know, it's a lot like, and you hear labels refer to their rosters or their artists as family sometimes, and at Run for Cover, it really does feel like a family, which is cool because everybody is just so open and inviting and warm and just good people. And Jeff and I are like the kindred souls musically. I mean,
that's awesome.
But we realized like a lot of our favorite records were very, very similar, and we just talk about music all the time, just as two friends who are fans of music. So it's great. We couldn't have benefited any from a label any better. Like that is just a perfect situation, and they're the best. So
That's awesome.
It's awesome to go into a record label situation and not feel like you're getting fucked over or something like
From
that.
the
because
very start.
There's so many horror stories about people getting on their label and then just everything's downhill from there. So it's good when you have these labels that you're like, all right, you guys are actually concerned with the artists and bands that are on your roster.
Yeah, and that's another thing about Jeff that just speaks volumes. Jeff is a absolutely zero bullshit guy.
Yeah.
Jeff does not pack any punches, and you know he has a real pride about the way he handles his label and his bands, and you know that when push comes to shove, you know he's going to do what's best for the label, but he's not going to leave you high and dry.
Yeah.
And I truly know and believe that and trust him, which is like the biggest thing in terms of
absolutely
of having it work together is trust. It's the biggest thing.
Yeah. So let's talk about the progression of the albums a little bit. You know, from the self-titled to Ages and Hours to the Flatlands. Do you feel like, in my opinion, Flatlands just stepped it up a notch from everything else? I love everything else, but it seems like Flatlands is a different sound, like a not completely different.
What Derek
Like,
wants
you
to
still
say
got
really bad is it seems like a more mature record.
I don't want to say that, but it does seem like it's a more mature record.
I know that it's that easy thing to do, and you see it in reviews from lazy reviewers
Yeah,
who say,
I hate saying
this
it,
band
but
has
me too.
Really,
Sometimes
has
it's the only
really
thing you can say.
matured No, but you know what? The only reason that has become such a cliche thing is because people misuse it.
Right.
Yes.
So I felt like we've matured musically. I mean, it's hard to, at least for me personally,
Yeah.
I feel like it's hard to not mature musically.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
If you're constantly trying to challenge
and trying to
yourself
evolve
and,
as a band.
Yeah. I mean, everybody grows up. Bands grow up.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Yeah, and when we first started this band, I told myself, and I like so many different styles of music. I mean, I'm all over the place. I'm and I love it that way.
Yeah.
And that's just how I am as a person. And
I feel like it's super important to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I told myself I'm never going to make the same. I don't ever want to make the same record twice because it's not fun. It's not fun to churn out the same thing in a different. You know, it's not fun to dress something up a little bit differently,
Exactly.
but throw it out there exactly the same. And most of the bands that I like the best and have had their sound, but they've pushed the bar a little bit and tried to explore different things and tried to be, experimental with their influences and with their band. And I respect that because it's not. I mean. A band is not an assembly line.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, exactly.
We're not
manufactured.
We're not running an infomercial and selling, ShamWows or something.
But you can get that with the new record.
Okay,
Yeah.
People seem to like it, so let's keep, pumping them out and So for me, I don't look at it that way. I think people who listen to our band and like our band would appreciate that it's a little different
Exactly.
too. Because I don't hear the same thing, and at the core of it, you're making music that first initially sparks interest in you.
Right.
When I'm writing a song, the thing that takes a song from being a demo that I just have on my hard drive to an actual song that we work on and end up recording is my personal interest in it.
Yeah.
So if I just stay true to that, I feel like that is the that's the best policy, to just stay true to that and
I agree.
And follow.
And you can hear a forced change in sound as opposed to a natural change in sound. Like your album still sounds like you. I mean, it's just a different kind of album.
Thank
it feels
you.
like, and then you can hear other bands that's like
They go from
they
playing,
sing pop punk, and then the next thing they'll do is an album that's
it's
like
like synth rock.
synth
It's
rock.
like, wait,
yeah.
wait,
Yeah.
whoa, hold on.
It's like,
Yeah.
wait, you obviously tried to make this sound.
Right.
It doesn't sound like a natural
I
progression.
know plenty of people like that
Yeah.
are just trying to get on the next wave and ride
Exactly.
that thing out as long as they can. And that I don't, forgive my language, but that is a crock of shit.
Yes.
And,
Oh, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to cover your language on
Not
this
at
show.
all. It's actually required.
Yeah.
That use a certain amount of language.
I just don't. I just think that is such a cheap way out.
Yeah,
that's not
it
what
is.
That's not what music is. It's not a band. A band is not a business that ultimate goal is to sell T-shirts.
Right.
And I feel like that has become such a thing now. And,
Yeah.
and nothing against anybody who does that. And everybody's their own. Everybody's different, and each band is different. And I have nothing against anybody, but to have cheap motives behind what you do, for me, that's not what music's about for me. So I don't want anything to do with that.
I agree with you. And
yeah.
to kind of talk about that, like, I've talked to people, that are involved with, major labels, and kind of heard the way that a lot of them work. And when they talk about, okay, well, the image has to fit this, and then, there's this aspect that has to be done before that. And, everything is so well planned, which I understand as far as, timelines go for bands and whatnot. Timelines are good, but when there are factors such as, appearance and, these like, oh, and we also need to add this because so-and-so just recently did this, and this record's coming out after this.
Right.
When you start hearing about all of that, it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
Yeah.
why
I
don't you
agree.
let the musicians make the music that they want to make, the art that they want to create?
Like,
Because
this
that
is micromanaged.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when the music becomes that, to me, it becomes so sterile that it is no longer music that I want to associate with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And it just kind of snowballs in this industry into a thing where, bands aren't selling as many records anymore. So what's the next thing?
Right.
The next way to make money is to have, to completely construct these entire, entities
Exactly.
from, the ground up and make this, brand. It's not a band,
exactly.
it's a brand.
That's true.
And yeah, and I'm all for that. We don't just roll out of bed and wear, if we get promo photos taken, we don't just roll out of bed and wear what we're wearing.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sound like I'm,
No.
Gigi Allen or something, rolling around in dirt. But I just think that 1A should be the music, and whatever you want to do after that,
right,
have a ball. But if your motives are to sell T-shirts, then fuck off.
Yeah,
basically.
Then start a T-shirt company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Become a fucking screen printer.
Yeah.
Way easier.
Yeah. Lord knows we have plenty of those.
Yeah.
Band T-shirt companies. My God.
Yeah.
There's a
Fashion
few.
lines.
So on Age Isn't Ours, I was reading and it showed that you had that produced by Ace Enders. How was that? I didn't know that.
Which is super cool. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ace is a good buddy of mine, and I grew up in New Jersey, so I knew the Early November, and me and my friends would listen to them, and I went and saw them play, I think, when I was in, the 7th grade.
Yeah.
And I saw them play with, I can't remember who else it was, but Ace, we had done a tour with them, and Ace and I spent a little bit of time together, and he expressed some interest in recording us, so I saw a benefit in that as far as Ace being a songwriter and kind of us having some things in common from that perspective. And so we went into the studio and worked with him on that record a bit, and it was cool. It was great. I mean, Ace is a great guy, and he's a really talented guy. And
super talented dude.
Yeah, and it was great. I mean, I love Ace. Him and I still talk a lot, and we've talked about, writing some songs together again. I don't know what for, but we're always in touch, and Ace is a really good guy, and it was fun. I mean, every single thing that we do is a learning experience, and I try to take, something from everything we do, and I learned a lot about myself from working with Ace and learning his perspective on songwriting and producing and stuff. So it was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy. We met him. Gene and I were in a band in the early 2000s, and we were on tour.
Okay.
And I think we ended up playing a show with Early November, and who else was on that bill? Alistair? Is that what it was?
There was someone else from Drive Thru.
My God.
We took the place of American Hi-Fi.
Yeah.
They couldn't make the show.
Yeah.
So we got a call.
I remember when the Early November was on that tour.
Yeah, it was
so
interesting.
we got put on, and we were like, oh, shit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We were in California, and we got a call saying, can you guys be in Arizona by tomorrow? Because
oh my God.
we were like, yeah, we're there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That whole group
good
of guys was super cool.
I actually just found a picture last week of me and Ace standing behind the merch table. It was it's weird that we're talking about him just now because I literally just came on that a couple days ago. It's so weird.
he's a very humble guy, and he's a very he's just a good person.
He is,
and he's a good friend. So
nice.
Yeah, I like Ace a lot.
So moving ahead to the Flatlands of Your Friend. What has the reception of the new record been as far as playing live shows and whatnot, or just in general?
It's been good. We've been playing the songs for a little while now, but it's been overwhelmingly positive. I feel like a lot of the reviews I've read, people have gotten what I was kind of going for in the writing and the feel and the vibe of the record, and that makes me happy because I wanted it to stand on its own as far as I wanted all the songs to distinctly correlate, and I wanted to I just wanted it to take you somewhere when you listen to it, and I feel like it could invoke a mood in you, whatever that may be. I just wanted it to invoke something in people, and I feel like a lot of reviews I've read that's happened. So
Yeah.
I've been happy about that.
It's best not to read reviews. Good or bad, it's best not to read them, period.
Yeah. We've gotten Death Cab for Cutie references, and
Nice.
while I love Death Cab for Cutie and I appreciate that, I feel like that's like
A stretch?
an easy out. It's an easy comparison for people, and it's a lazy.
It is a lazy
It's a bit of a
comparison.
lazy one, and I appreciate it. I think they're an amazing band.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and God, they've written a lot cooler songs than I have. But I just don't see the comparison.
Well, I mean, you and Ben Gibbard's
I'm flattered by
voice,
it, but
your voices are almost practically the exact same.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I sound just like him.
While that is sort of flattering, because I mean, Death Cab is one of my favorite bands in the world.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I
And I
don't
think- you know
see
what?
that correlation in the two.
I would
of you,
more
though.
say
No,
something
me
like
neither.
Into It Over It. If someone said, "Hey, give me a band," I would maybe
Yeah.
say, "If you like Into It Over It, there you
Yeah.
go." But I mean,
I went to high school with Evan.
Oh, yeah?
He lived less than a mile from me. He was a senior when I was a freshman. So
Oh,
that is awesome.
I grew up listening to his old band, The Progress, and stuff.
we just
Evan's a
had
great
him on the
guy.
show not long ago. He is a great guy.
Yeah, he's a solid dude. Yeah. But yeah, I guess what I was going to say too was I think maybe like the fact that the record's a little bit moodier,
Yeah.
and people think, oh, moody rock band, and that's like what popped up. So that's cool with me because the moodier aspect of it is what I wanted to come across with this record, and I wanted the lyrical content to correlate and go hand in hand with the music. So to see people say that and respond that way makes me feel like accomplished in that regard.
Yes.
So that's cool.
Because that's one thing I felt it was a seamless album and it was a moving album.
And one of my favorite
Cool. Thank
things in
you.
the world is to say that a record is a mood album.
Yeah.
Because pretty much every record that I ever listen to, I automatically, at the first time I listen to it, I file it in this cabinet under like what situations and what weather and all of these variables as to what would make this record like just explode out for me even better. Like I love this. Okay, so what will make it even better? Okay, driving in the summer with my windows rolled down. That's going to be incredible. But I always find a place, or when I'm super depressed one day in the middle of winter and it's disgusting outside, this record is going to somehow make me okay. Like I love mood albums. In
Me
general.
too, man.
Like Kenny G
Cool.
is the
Well,
best for
Yeah, that sultry sax.
Yes.
When I'm in
really
the
gets
dentist and
gets you going on a rainy day.
yes.
So on the record pressing, how many variants did you guys do? I was trying to look it up on
3.
Discogs. Okay.
3, okay.
Because it only
3,
showed 2,
yeah.
and I was like, I think I got a different variant than
Yeah,
this.
Discogs was showing the white and gray and the black and green starburst, but Derek,
I think mine's like a blue marbled
Yeah.
kind of pressing or something.
Yeah, there's a blue marble, and then there's the 2 starburst ones, which the one was supposed to be a black-white starburst, but
Yeah.
it ended up looking a little bit navy-ish.
Yeah.
And then the other one, which was my favorite, was a black-white, gray, like a grayish and green.
Yeah.
And that one turned out that one's really beautiful. It's
I want to seek
It's,
that one out now that I know that there's a black and green out there.
Yeah.
I want to get that.
yeah, it's cool. I think it's I think I posted a picture of it on our Instagram.
Yeah.
Or
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, so that one's cool. I'm happy with how they came out.
What brought you guys to the decisions? I always find this interesting because obviously Derek and I are big vinyl guys. What brought you guys to the decisions of the colors? I mean, because I know from pressing records in the past, it can be a headache to figure out what tone you want to set with an album by the record itself. What kind of brought you to these? Because these are super cool.
I knew I wanted to, well, it was easy to rule out, pink and bright red and any like really vibrant,
Yeah.
crazy colors right off the bat because
It wouldn't fit the album.
because of
Exactly.
the art. Yeah, and the first thing was the black white starburst was like the first color that I was set on, just because I like the idea of traditional black, and we've done that with our other two records. But then I decided instead of just doing a solid black this time, it would be cool to just try that. So I thought that the contrast of black and white in the artwork would look cool with that. And then the navy was just the marble blue. I don't know. It was between. I didn't want to pick, like I said, a bright color or something that would draw away too much. But I wanted a color that wasn't involved in the album art at all.
Yeah.
So the blue was just kind of an easier natural choice. And then the 4-color Starburst, I just sat for a while and thought about it, and I kind of would take the color swap and put them all together and I arranged them in a paint window or something stupid like that.
What do these colors look like next to each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I just sat on it for a couple of days and just went with my gut. I ended up thinking that would be the coolest. And from doing it before, I've learned that it never really turns out exactly the way that you intend for. So spending so much time just trying to pick these meticulously choose these perfect colors is a waste because it's kind of a crapshoot anyway. So I try to just go with what I thought looked the coolest, and I just did that, and I'm so glad it turned out that way.
Yeah, they turned out great.
I love to hear when people actually take time and attention to the variants, because I feel like there's some people that are just like, oh, what's going to make people want to buy it more?
Right.
I like to hear that there's a thought process behind it.
Yeah.
And that's really cool to me.
Yeah, I that's another thing. It's like, who cares how pretty it is? Just make it so outrageously ridiculous that people want it.
Exactly.
Which is becoming like the essence of art in this country. And I hate to go on a tangent like this, but
good.
I feel like in a lot of ways, it's like movies, television, music, these reality shows like Naked and Dating and all this.
Oh, Jesus.
It's like,
fuck.
How can we shock people into watching crap? That's basically, and it's like backwards now. Instead of trying to make something good and with the idea that if you make quality work, people will appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's the backwards way around. It's we did a horrible job. What's the way to get people to
still appreciate this?
It's worth,
yeah,
which is just so. It's a shame. It's, I don't know. I feel like you see like in science fiction books and movies and stuff, sometimes like you see like where it's set way in the future in America, and there's like all these shocking things that exist that you never believed could. And I think of like the content that is being presented in this country in that way now. Like,
man.
some of it is so shocking to where, my God, if my grandmother was alive, she'd be like, what the hell is this shit? I don't know.
Oh, no, I've thought about that before. Like, if you let's just fast forward 50 years from now and show someone who is in their, early 20s television from today. Because I guarantee you in 50 years from now, this shit will not fly. Like, if it's... Yeah. Because there's so much stuff on... Like, I can't even watch TV, and that's why I've kind of just gone to Netflix, so I can just select, okay, I know I want to watch this.
Yeah.
And,
they have increased the channels by 10, but there's less things to watch.
Yeah, there's a decrease in content by 99%.
Because there's a reality show about literally everything you can possibly think of.
Yeah.
Fucking Ice Road Truckers. I've never watched it before, but I know already by the name it's about dudes that drive trucks on the ice. How, they make it interesting.
I would rather watch that, though, than a child beauty queen.
Okay, well, yeah. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit about that.
It's a shame because
it really is
for the people that try to have morals about what they do and try to have standards for themselves. Some people just get left in the dust because all these other things rule out, and all it's about is these numbers and that sucks.
It does.
Stupid. It's stupid.
I
Yeah.
totally agree.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I'm going to ask, and I'm not bitching at you here. This is just a general question. I noticed there wasn't a download code in the record. Was that a conscious thing? Like, did you decide not to put one in there, or what was the reasoning behind that?
Oh my God, I actually did not even know that there was not a download code.
Well, maybe I just got a bad one.
No, because my girlfriend ordered a copy, and I was going through it the other day, and I didn't notice one either. So,
me and Derek have had big rants about that before, about how like it doesn't have to be included, but it's nice.
Yeah.
You know what's strange? The records were shrink. I don't know the correct.
Shrink wrapped.
Yeah. Shrunk wrap.
We'll make
whatever.
one up because none of us know the difference either.
So maybe that happening was prevented them from doing any assembling as far as
right.
It happened before they thought, we need to put download cards in that. Well, we've already shrink wrapped 1,000 of them. Oh, never mind.
Oh, never mind.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm gonna send a text about that tonight because there's
don't do it on my account.
There's got to be. Oh no, I'm gonna totally blame it on you guys.
That's fine.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But there's got to be a way to email. We can just send emails to all those people that ordered the record with the download code because that sucks. That's a bummer. I had no idea.
Well, I mean, there's some labels that going into it, like
Drag City.
Drag City does not. They just don't put download.
I
codes
buy
in
records from them like literally monthly,
so if you
and
get
there's
a
never
Ty Segall or Bonnie Prince Billy or something, you just know you're not going to get a download code.
But we have become so accustomed, in this world of I'll have the record and then I'll have the digital copy for my phone, and we're all good. I've got both bases covered. Because
it's a huge aspect of it, the download codes, because for me, speaking personally, I love records. I love listening to records as opposed to any other thing. But it's not practical. It's not practical for me to do it all the time, and I listen to music all day long.
Oh, me
too. So for me, the physical aspect of having the record and I'm willing to buy it, but I also don't want to compromise my listening, my availability to listen to it. So for me, the download code, like anyone else, it's huge. I mean, you don't have to compromise when you want to listen to something,
right?
Because So I feel like that would prohibit people from buying records if they don't get download codes. So that sucks. I hope. I'm sure everybody else is super pissed off like you guys. So
I'm not pissed off.
No, I'm just kidding. I got to figure something out.
But the stuff is on Spotify, and that's another question I was going to ask.
Yeah.
What do you think about Spotify? Because I like to talk
to streaming services in general.
Yeah, I like to talk to artists about that because it's sort of like some people really hate it and feels like it takes away from physical sales, and some people love it because it may sort of detract from pirating music. So I wanted to hear your take on it.
Well, let me just preface my comments by saying if I was someone, and I heard this on the news the other day, like Taylor Swift, who, if she streamed her record on Spotify, the royalties amounted to $174,000, but not selling it or not putting it on Spotify and selling it on iTunes, the royalties amounted to $10 million. Then I'd be a hell of a lot more pissed off about it.
Yeah.
But because it's those numbers are not relevant in my life, unfortunately, it's easier for me to be like, I love Spotify. I don't want to be a hypocrite either. I use it.
Yeah.
I listen to it. I mean, I pay for it.
Yeah.
But I know that makes no difference. So,
exactly.
I feel like people still want. I don't know. Spotify's cool, but I feel like there are people who still want MP3s and will still pirate music and still want download codes, and it doesn't really stop that. And like I just said, obviously the royalty comparison is so far. They pay out so little to artists and I saw an interview with a guy that worked for Spotify about the Taylor Swift thing, and he was saying, oh, well, back in the day, record companies owned the bands, and the bands wouldn't see any royalties from record sales, and what we're doing is not much different, but it's not much different, but it's equally bullshit.
Oh yeah.
So in a way, but at the same time, I can't be a hypocrite and say that I don't love the freedom that Spotify offers me music as a fan of music and a music listener. I mean, it's amazing to the access that you have. I mean, like me and I could be hanging out with my friends and we're talking about something and something comes up and we're trying to remember a song or we want to hear it. All I have to do is search it, and that's amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's fantastic.
I was at a Halloween party a couple of weeks ago, and they had a DJ there, and he was having some issues with his equipment, and all we did was Google or search a Spotify Halloween playlist and plug the phone in, and it was like the entire. So for that stuff, it's amazing, and it's so cool to have this access to so much. I don't know how they do it. It blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I use it a lot for, like, for example, if I order a record and I know it's going to be like a week before it's here, I'll jump on. I have Beats music, and I'll jump on it and find the band, and I'll listen to it until I get the record. Like I do that.
Yeah.
Or I'll use it.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's good. I use it a lot when Derek says, "Hey, you have to check out this band." Like, so for discovery purposes.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Like, I'm gonna buy the record. If I see it, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
But that's how I find out about a lot of stuff, and that's how I end up buying a lot of records. I feel like a lot of people use it as like, oh, I'll never have to buy a record again. Sweet, but that's not the way that I go about it.
Yeah, and that sucks. But also at the same time. What I feel like is a shitty thing too is if somebody comes out and says, like when Metallica sued that Napster guy or whatever, and they're as a musician you can't bitch and complain about people who want to listen to your band. You can't complain about how they listen. I mean, you're not providing. It's not a privilege to listen to your music. I mean, as a musician, you're
true.
You want anyone in the world to listen to you. I mean, every single person that does is a plus. So there's like it's a fine line that you walk as a musician and someone who makes a living playing music, because it is detrimental to your pocket.
Yeah.
Per se, in terms of how you make money off of your records. But I mean, there are so many other benefits from it, like touring. I mean,
I'm sure it expands your crowd like crazy. Like it's got to help. Like, say you're playing in some random shithole city, but you have your album easily accessible over Spotify or a streaming service like that. Then these people could possibly have heard who you were before you got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it might sound like it will sound extremely like cheesy and cliche to say this, but I do believe that there's a power in music that will not ever go away, no matter what.
Amen.
Things change.
Yeah,
things change. I mean, the way there's a give and a take. You know, people aren't buying as many records anymore, but all of these festivals and all of these things that are happening, and the amount of money that bands are making touring now, and that stuff is bigger than it was before. So I feel like it's always kind of going to balance itself out to a degree.
Yeah, I mean, and everything has to adapt. The label has to adapt. Yeah. The artist have to adapt. There's like a give and take there.
Yeah, and people are going to bitch no matter what, but there's no reason to bitch unless you're Taylor Swift. And in that case, if you know that you'll make this much opposed to that much, I wouldn't put our records on Spotify either. I mean, I don't mean to sound like a greedy
but that's pretty big.
But you'd have to be stupid to say, "Oh,
I'll take that deal over that deal."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually was excited when I heard that. I kind of applauded Taylor Swift. I was like, that's awesome. You know, good for you.
Yeah.
Like, I saw a bunch of people making posts online saying, you know, well, there's obviously tons of like, who cares, blah, 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 stupid, you know, dismissive things.
Yeah.
But then there were a lot of people that were like, oh, well, then I guess you don't want me to listen to your music. And it's like, whoa. You know, sometimes this is how this artist is making their living. So yes,
I
they
mean,
do
not her.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, but they do want you to listen to the music. But you know, hey, supporting them would also be really cool.
Yeah.
But there's a ton of people that are not willing to monetarily support music and it's in general. And so when a huge artist like that, and just the same way that Radiohead kind of took away from the major labels and just said, we're just gonna fucking do things that we want to do, and that's it. Like, if you have that freedom, I say fucking do it.
Yeah, if you can bypass all of this shit.
Yeah, I mean, and her, I mean, it's her prerogative to do what she wants with her record that she made.
Exactly.
If she feels that that's the best option for her, she's entitled to do that. It's not. It's no one. It's completely. She's free to do with it what she wants. She could have recorded that record and went outside and threw it in the trash.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I just feel like there's in any profession or any situation, there are always people that whine.
Always.
But the big picture is missed when you sit there and complain about something. Yes, it would be cool if it was still 1992, and however many copies of records were sold back then compared to today is unbelievably drastically different.
Yeah.
But like I was saying before, bands didn't see any money from that, and they didn't even see any money, touring like they do now.
Right.
So there's just everything evolves and changes, and you either get on board or you fall behind. I guess.
Yeah. You just
I
gotta
like
adapt.
Spotify. I will, my final verdict would be I'm cool with it.
Yeah. We're cool. Me and Spotify are cool.
We're good.
Yeah.
Well, Carmen, I really appreciate you coming on here and talking to us, dude.
Cool.
I can't stress enough how much I love the new album.
Yeah, man. It's an
Thank you so much,
incredible
guys.
record.
Do you mind if we play a song on our way out here?
No, not at all.
All
Please.
right.
Do you have a preference as to what song off of the record you would like us to play?
Whichever one you guys would like. I've heard each song probably 40,000 times. So,
you've heard these songs.
I'm good with anyone.
Okay, that's good. I was just making sure that you're good on these. Oh, I wanted to mention also that your covers record that you guys put out, the covers EP was incredible. First of all, you guys paid homage to Mr. Billy Bragg, which
I love Billy Bragg.
God,
shit,
dude,
yeah.
me too, man. I was so excited to see that.
And
then,
New Order.
And
Cool.
Age of Consent, man. That's so rad. What made that idea come together?
Other
Other than just saying these are great songs, let's record our versions of them.
I was friendly with Brianna from Tiger's Jaw, so her and I had talked about doing a song together for a while.
Yeah.
And I tend to waste. I guess it's not waste time, but a lot of times I tend to instead of sitting here and like writing my own songs or something, end up learning covers or playing songs from other artists and stuff, and that just came from me loving Billy Bragg, and I actually covered like 5 of his songs that I recorded like rough covers of, and just like for fun in my room.
Yeah.
And then that one I realized would be perfect for her to sing on. So we did that, and then that just kind of turned into why don't we do an EP? I mean, I had demos of all these cover songs, and like I did a Smith cover that I put online for free that I gave away.
Yeah.
And I just enjoyed doing that too. I was trying to kind of learn how to make better demos and better recordings. So that was a thing that I was doing for a while. Would be if I didn't have any songs to record, I would just do covers so that I had the experience of trying to record it. So it just kind of happened that way. Some people heard them and really liked them, and our manager and the label, and they were like, why don't we just do a covers thing? Nobody really does that anymore.
Yeah.
And
It is a
fun
really good
to, you know,
exercise too in songwriting, like to
Yeah,
learn someone else's
absolutely.
songs and deconstruct what
Yeah.
they did. It kind of
Absolutely.
brings a whole new light to a lot of things for yourself.
We have a group
Yeah,
of friends that we have a cover club with.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
Actually, right before we got on the phone with you, I was working on my Double Vision by Foreigner cover because it was like
Nice.
Billboard Top 100 1979
Yeah.
was our topic. So
It was
we picked
interesting.
from that.
Oh, that is so cool. That is the coolest thing.
Yeah.
I took
Wow.
Billy Joel's My Life
Yeah.
and turned it into like a very Leonard Cohen,
Yeah.
extremely depressing version. The most depressing version of My
I
Life
love
you'd
that.
ever hear.
I love that idea. That is such a cool idea.
Well, if you want to join, you're
That's
more than
like-
welcome.
Yeah, you can be in, man.
We do it.
You let me know. That's like I used to. My dad used to get Rolling Stone all the time,
Yeah.
and he still reads it. And at the very back, there would be they had like a top 20 charts for that day in a certain year. So whatever the day that issue was from, it would be like, oh, the top 20 Billboard from 1979.
Yeah.
And we always would look at it and be like blown away by what songs
Yeah.
there were and stuff.
Yeah.
So that is a really cool thing. I might have to. I might have to.
If you've got the time, you are more than welcome,
Yeah,
man.
If you're on Facebook, I'll add you to the Facebook group.
yeah, please do. Yeah, I'm on Facebook. You look
Yeah.
me up and friend me out. That would be awesome.
Will do.
Nice.
Well, cool, man. I think
Look at us. Just social media. We're just using social
I
media.
know.
to
Yeah,
the
look at
ultimate
us.
degree here.
It's
I know.
crazy.
welcome
Yeah,
to
I still
now.
got MySpace. I still have MySpace. If you guys. No,
Oh
I'm kidding.
shit! Oh my god! That's
no, I don't. Oh,
Be crazy if
geez.
you were still on Friendster. You remember
Oh,
Friendster?
God,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I had a Friendster.
I
think
didn't
that
either.
was-
I came on at MySpace.
I came on it hot or
Yeah.
not.
Oh, hot or not? Yeah, I did that. I've said this before,
geez,
but I
that's
met a
good.
girl off
I
of
was
Hot or
not
Not
on
one
that
time.
one.
I just-
Hot or Not was not one of my. But
Yeah.
maybe I missed out.
No,
Yeah.
no, you didn't miss out. I wasn't actually on that site, but I do know that it was actually a site where
Okay.
you just uploaded a picture of yourself and people checked yes hot or no not.
Yeah.
And so you could just see your rating. That was the site. That was the fucking genius
Yeah.
idea that this website sent out.
I met one girl off of that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was not a good thing though.
Derek went out on a date with a girl from Hot or Not. And how did that end?
It just ended.
So that's basically where that Tinder thing came from.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Oh, cool. You're hot. I do want to hook up.
Yeah.
That's it.
This is a creepy fucking world, man.
It is.
no
It
shit.
really
world.
is.
Well, cool,
Yeah.
man. Well, I think we're gonna play the song "Natives." Is that cool with you?
Awesome. Yeah, that's good. I love it.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much, and
Yeah, dude. Thanks
I
so much
will,
for doing this with
get
us.
you on this cover club thing.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Yeah, hopefully we'll be in touch soon, and I'll work on that download code.
Cool,
Right on.
dude. All right, see you,
right.
Carmen.
All right, thank you guys.
Take care.
Bye bye.
We only flock this town with the intent comes quiet, it comes quiet.